Welcome back to Cooking with Yuengling. I'm Brent Wirtz, Vice President of Culinary Development for All In Foods, and my partner Danny Scott's just on the other side of that camera. We're responsible for the Yuengling sauces. As you can see, we have several barbecues, we have a couple hot wing sauces, we have some seasonings, and we have a few more secrets on the way out. Today I wanted to work with a brand new product which no one's seen yet, but it's a wonderful product in the bottle. This is our Yuengling steak sauce. Has Yuengling lager in it, like all of our sauces do. It's a great accompaniment to steak, chicken, veal, everything. We're going to use it today, and we're going to make a stew and brew. This dish here is going to be like a beef stew. It's going to have the steak sauce in it. It's also going to have, of course, Yuengling beer in it. And I'm going to get you started on it right now. Here we have some top round. All I did is take it. You can see I cut it into 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch sizes. The key when you make a stew, make it big enough that you can bite on it. A lot of times for stews, people make them way too big. I've had the luxury of being a chef in a 5-star resort for 25 years, and you got to be really concerned about what fits on the fork or what fits in the spoon so that people can dine on it. So we're going to throw those in. On top of that, we're going to add a little of the Yuengling smoked salt. This is a seasoning that's coming out very shortly. It'll be in areas around you, and it's basically a smoked salt with a little garlic, black pepper, and a few secret ingredients. So we're just going to season that beef and just kind of mix it up in there. And we want to get a nice sear in this beef, and we also want to be able to have something to thicken the sauce. So instead of just throwing it in the pan, we're going to cover a little bit of flour first. And as I said, this flour is going to be on the beef, but it's also going to be on the bottom of the pan, and that'll help thicken our sauce as we go. All you do is kind of get a good coating on it. You got the seasoning, you got that, and then we're ready to go in the pan. Just drop them in there. You'll be able to hear this start to sizzle here in a minute. Now, right now, I just have a little bit of olive oil in here. And in it goes, and you'll see that this will pick up steam real quick and start to sear. I'd be remiss without telling you that we just had a very VIP person. We're here in Pottsville at the Yuengling Brewery. This is the Yuengling Master Brewer Bar. Believe it or not, we just had Dick Yuengling sitting here chatting with us for a while. We tried to get him on camera, but he decided that maybe not tonight. He was on his way to another engagement and kind of had his mind somewhere else, but we're certainly glad to see him. Here, we're just searing this beef. When you put that little coat of flour on it, it makes it nice and easy to get a nice sear. Also, as you can see on the bottom of the pan, there's a little fond. Fond is really just the flavor on the bottom. We're going to leave that there once we get this gravy going. You can see a nice sear. So we're going to reserve this beef to the side. So at home, you can just put it in any old pot. You just leave it to the side. The pan goes back on. We'll just do a touch more olive oil. And you can see the color in there. That's all flavor. So that now we'll add the onion. A nice hot pan works good. We'll let that go just a second. Then we're going to add a little bit of carrot. What we're trying to do here is just caramelize these vegetables a little bit. On our way to making a nice stew. You can see I cut these a little differently. Some people like to chunk up everything. I think it's interesting is the vegetables are a little different sizes. We're going to add in just a touch of garlic. So I didn't add it in right away because we don't want to burn the garlic. So you can put it on top. A little bit of parsley. We want to hit this with the heat so the oils come out. Just a little bit of dried thyme. Same thing, let those oils come out. I got a good look at that. You have a nice look in the beginning to a stew down. Tasty. Flavor starting to combine. You can see the bond building. So listen up. Here's the sound of success. That's a nice Yuengling lager. We're going to just go ahead and deglaze this pan with that lager. We're using about a half a bottle. We're then going to come right in behind it. You're going to see all that alcohol cooks off, and then we can go ahead and add our steak sauce. We're going to add about a 1/4 cup of steak sauce. And behind that, we'll let this come to a simmer, and we're going to add in some beef stock. You kind of see how that already starting to thicken a little bit based on that flour that was in there. If you add the meat back in, it'll thicken quite a little more. This time I'm using beef broth. Usually I would make a stock, but to make it easier so that everybody can do it at home, you just add a little bit of beef broth in here. And that was about 8 ounces of beef broth. Back in with your meat. And all we do is we let this simmer. What I like to do is I'm going to bring this up to heat. And then you can simmer it on top of the stove. Or you can go ahead and throw it in the crock. I kind of like throwing the crock pot, put it on low, 2.5 to 3 hours. What you'll do is you'll cook this meat cooked, then tender, and your sauce will come right together. We'll be right back in a minute. Here we are. I added in a few potatoes as I put it into the crock pot. I didn't want to sear those, so I just kind of put them in after we had the sauce going into the crock pot. See here, this is after 2.5 hours. You get a pretty attractive looking stew. See those carrots are cut, kind of an interesting angle. Now then you can just dip it up as you wish. Maybe a little parsley on top for garnish. If you're anything like me, you need a nice big spoon. And there you have steak, brew, and stew. Thank you very much for joining us for Cooking with Yuengling here in Pottsville at the Pottsville Brewery. I thank you for your time. See you next episode. Thanks.